Good morning, my friends. Welcome back. It is Tuesday. Well, for you, it's Tuesday. For me, it's actually Monday. I'm recording on Monday. Trashcraft Tuesday time, and I am back working with these little instruction manuals that I, am slowly whittling down, very, very slowly. But I've got a little idea that I want to play with, and you can use any paper for this idea. This just happens to be my inspiration because I've got a whole bunch and I need to use them up. So you absolutely do not need anything like this, but if you do have something like this, then go for it. Right, so first off, I am just going to, I've taken out 2 pages. I'm just going to fold this first front of the page down, not quite in half. So I'm making this about 2 1/4 inches. Measurements aren't critical. I didn't measure before I folded. I just folded. And I'm going to be brave and just glue it down right now. I'm just playing. I don't know how this is all going to pan out. It may not turn out how I expect, but that's okay. I think it will still be fine. So I do think gluing this down is just going to make my life a little bit easier. So I've got less moving parts, if you like. Okay, so what we have is we have something that you could just leave like this and make it a pocket. So you could glue it down on the page, you could have a pocket at top and a pocket here. I just want to get a little bit fancier than that. And I want to do a stack of pockets, but like file folder style pockets. The tricky part will be getting the height. So I'm taking the second sheet, I'm going to fold in again around the same amount, doesn't really matter, and I'm going to glue that down. So far we're doing 2 exactly the same, 2 sheets of paper. I'll actually do a measurement for you just so you know what I'm working with, but you could make them bigger, whatever size paper you're working with. Oh, sticking myself to the glue. I'm in a bit of a rush this morning. I've got a 10:30 appointment for physio, so I'm conscious I need to get this done before I need to head out. So if I'm sounding a little bit rushed, partly it's because I'm kind of working through this process in my head, and partly because I know I have an appointment I need to get to. So opened out, these are around 8 inches, just slightly under 8 inches by 5.5 inches. So that's the size of paper, and then of course that's folded in half. So now we've got 2 pretty much the same. I'm thinking that will sit in there and we'll have a pocket here and a pocket here. We could just glue those 2 backs together and have another pocket in behind, but I want to go even further with this. So this is where it could get a little tricky in terms of the sizing of things. So I'm just going to turn this one down. Which way do I want it? I want it to the inside. I don't think it really matters, but I'm going to turn it to the inside this time. I don't know why. I just had a sudden moment of overthinking things, I think. Because I'll be covering these in papers, so it doesn't really matter either way, forward or back. Oops, we've got glue along that edge. We don't want that. We don't want to glue our pocket shut. So we now have a pocket here, and then we've got that reinforced edge. So if we sit that inside our other one, I think that's going to actually work quite well. So what we're going to have is we're going to have pocket, pocket, whoops, they're not glued together, so that's why it moved, pocket, and then the back one will be a pocket as well. But instead of folding this edge under, because then it's going to make it too short and we're going to have like a pocket that's, you know, only got a tiny bit at the top, I'm going to reinforce this, and I'm just going to do it with another sheet of this paper, because why not? It's already the right width. Just going to tear a piece off. And glue stick. But we're not finished yet. We are going to do some fun things to make it just not a normal stacked pocket. Well, I think it's fun. I will be using a punch board. If you don't have a punch board, there are other ways you can achieve the look. You can freeform it, you can grab out a template, you can print off a template on the internet. So if you don't have an envelope punch board, don't panic. Don't panic, Mr. Mannering. Gosh, that's an old TV program. A lot of you probably don't even know what I'm referring to. It's a very old, it was old program when I was a little girl, so now it's like even older. So if we stack those all up there, we've now got 1 pocket, 2 pockets, 3 pockets, 4 pockets. Now you wouldn't necessarily need to use the top pocket. You could choose to do a side pocket instead, but I want the top. I just want to check that the width is okay. It's just okay for my typical journal page. I might give it a wee trim down, actually. Just make sure they're all together, and hopefully my guillotine will cut through it. I don't want it that wide on the page. I think I'd rather have it just a little bit narrower. Yeah, that just gives me a little bit more breathing room, especially if you want to use it as a side pocket. Then you would want maybe even a more, you know, more gaps so you can slide something in. Right, so this inside one we're not putting right down into the crease when we glue it in. We're kind of eyeballing so that the pockets are about the same depth, and then that will glue so it's, you know, it's up a bit from the crease. Okay, so my next step is the punch board, and I'm going to create little file folder tabs on each pocket. That's what I'm planning. I'm hoping they're not too deep for, you know, because I haven't got a lot of space there. I'm hoping they're not too deep, but we'll give it a go. I'm going to go right to this outside edge. And I'm not going to measure how wide the tabs are. They're just going to be random. Okay. I do want them to be staggered though. So go about there, and then there, and then oops, I didn't make that one very wide. Perhaps could have done it a shade wider, but never mind. It's okay. It'll be a cute little, and that's even smaller, a wee stubby tab. I think it will just be fun. I need to trim off the edges. Okay, and then the back one, we want to go, we'll go about there. You can be more precise if you choose. I'm just making it completely random. Random widths, random spacing, whatever. Okay, so now I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to trim off the section level with this dip. Okay, actually might do it with a ruler and craft knife instead, just to try and get the straight line. I don't know if I'll end up straight with the scissors. So hard to see at the moment for you guys what it's going to look like, but bear with me. So far it's working okay to how I kind of envisaged it, but the proof is in the result, isn't it? So that's that one, and then the inside one. Just lining the ruler up with the bottom of those dips either side of our tabs. And the back one. Now the thing I'm thinking is, should I have waited to do the tabs until after I'd decorated them with paper? Quite possibly. So you may want to consider that. You might want to do the tabs after you've actually collaged them up or covered them. Right, I need to ink them so that you can actually see. I can see, but you might not be able to pick it up so well under all the lights and everything. So this will just help define it a little bit better for you. I'm just going to do the top edges because I can do the side edges off camera. You can see where the edges are, the sides. Does that help? I'll give you a bit more of an idea how they look so far. This one's like a little hill, little mound, like something out of Lord of the Rings or something. Maybe where a hobbit hole is. Funny what pops into your brain. It's interesting. This one's ended up quite a black tab. Right. So stacked together, they're going to be something like that, roughly. So we're going to have cute tab top pockets, and then the back one. Okay, so we still can't glue them together because that's going to make adding the decorative papers a lot harder if we do. So before we glue together, now I don't know what I want to cover them with actually. Because we've got 4 layers here, plus we've got the extra layer where we glued on bits of paper or glued it over. I don't want to bulk it up too much because it's then going to have journal cards and or tags in them. So I'm wondering about using some, this is the back of a napkin, so the white layers that you peel off the back of a napkin, which I've stamped. And it won't add a huge amount of bulk. I think I might do that. So I'm going to first change out my glue page. I'll do this. Oh, that's not wide enough, so let's go for the full glue page. Glue stick. I'm constantly losing my glue stick, putting it down in different places. So those white backs of the napkins, which maybe you might throw away, I don't know. I don't know if you do or not, but I imagine some people would. This is something you can do with them. You can stamp them or you can cover them in ink, sort of push them down into an ink pad, stamp pad, make them all decorative and pretty in a variety of ways, and then use them. So you can still see the text underneath, which is fine by me. It's don't know what language, but it's a foreign language. And then because I've already done the tabs, I need to actually cut around the tabs. So I'm just going to loosely cut it there for now. Just going to give it a bit more of a press just to make sure it's nicely stuck down. So how are you all today? What are you up to right now? Apart from watching, I guess, or listening if you're doing, you know, doing housework or something as you have it playing, have the video playing. What are you up to otherwise? I hope you find some creative time in your day. Maybe you might want to give one of these a go, or maybe it'll be something else. Whatever's on your plate to do. Right, throw that scrap out. Now, here is the other thing. Do I want to alternate like put different colours? Potentially. Otherwise they'll merge kind of all into one. So we might want to use a different. This is one that I've smushed into an ink pad. It's really quite effective. Do I want that colour? I do. Please excuse the squeaky back of my chair. Just grabbing out. Thinking more that one today. I don't know why. Just am. Okay, let's put that one on that section. And then maybe alternate them. So do the next pocket, the black stamping, and then the last pocket with this colourful one again. That could be quite nice. You could do them all totally different, but I think I'll just stick with the two. This has got two different colours on it, pink and a deep sort of pinky red. Now this is down inside the pocket, so you don't necessarily need to cover the whole thing, but I think it's just as easy to cover the whole thing. So I don't have to worry about, oh, I haven't gone low enough and it's going to show, or, you know, that sort of thing. All right, let's give it a press down and trim that one out. So I don't think it's actually too bad having to trim around the tabs, not with this thin tissue. Holding the piece of paper is probably my trickiest proposition right now. Oops, just cutting into the top of the pocket just ever so slightly, but that's fine. Got a little trim to do here. So I feel like this, you know, this napkin back is also trash. What some people would throw away after you've taken off the decorative top layer. Oh, it just doesn't want to cut that end. Right, that's good enough. I can fiddle with it more if I want. So just checking how it's looking. Yep, let's do the next one in the black stamping. So this time I might actually cut a piece off and then glue it on. Oh, sorry butterfly, you're going to be chopped in half. so finished with that one. I might need to re-ink the tops of the pockets since I'm covering right to the edge. I don't know, we'll check. It shows through on this one. I just can't remember how it looks on the pink one, whether where I've inked shows or not. Oops. Get it a bit straighter. Alright. That a press down. I don't like bits sticking to my scissors, and I've already got little fragments there bugging me. Bigger bits are more of a problem because they can obscure where you're cutting and you can't see properly. But I just don't like the messiness of little bits either. Just to me it's very untidy. And then you end up cutting through them and you end up with even smaller fragments stuck in a variety of places. Excuse me. Another very, very good frost this morning. Oh, I'll be glad when the frosts are over. Okay, so yes, I know I keep checking. It's taking time, but the inking does show through, but I might want to just emphasize that a little bit more. Okay, and the final one, I'm not going to take it all the way to the bottom this time. So I might have to do more of these colours on a napkin back because this is all I've got left of this one. Just that little portion there. Must have been one of my favourites. Right, now because I'm not gluing all the way to the bottom, in fact gluing all the way to the bottom does actually make sense because then you don't have to worry about putting glue where it's not needed. So yeah, my advice would be to go all the way to the bottom because it actually makes it easier on yourself. This looks like it might be German, this language here. Oh look, some colour off, I think that's off the napkin. Funny, these napkins have been done quite a long time, so I'm surprised I'm still getting a bit of ink, but that's okay. So I think about there's fine. And let's trim it out. So what have you got on for this week? I have a busy week, so what's up? Bearing in mind that as I'm recording this, it's Monday morning, so at 10:30, as I've already mentioned, I have a physio appointment. And that's the only out of the house commitment today. Plenty of work to do on my own right though. Tomorrow I will be working in the morning and trying to get as much done as I can, because in the afternoon I have to go out twice. Well, possibly they'll dovetail, so I'll actually I've got a coffee meet up with a friend who I haven't seen this year, which is terribly bad. We've just both been busy. She doesn't live far away, but she's been busy with her art and exhibitions and things, and I've been, you know, doing what I do. So we're going out for coffee and catching up tomorrow afternoon, and then after that I've got to go to my regular Tuesday thing, which is very short. So that's tomorrow. Then Wednesday, what's Wednesday? Wednesday I've got food bank in the afternoon. I have a feeling there's something else, I can't remember. Then Thursday, food bank in the afternoon. And Friday, is there anything on Friday? I'm not sure at this stage. There may or may not be. Okay, so I definitely want to ink up those top edges again, just to make them a bit more pronounced. Yeah, that's lovely. I like that. So the ink goes really well on the napkins. Oops, I just lifted the napkin a little bit there. Might have to put a little extra glue under that. That's okay. Now to decorate these, I am not actually sure how I want to decorate them or with what. Might just simply be some labels. We shall see in a moment. See the difference between the inkings. These ones are quite pronounced now. This original one is not very strong. Which we are changing right now. I think it's quite important that you can see the edge of a pocket. So one, the person who owns the journal can see there's a pocket and knows there's a pocket there. I do apologise for the state of my hands. They're really reacting to the cold weather and getting a bit gross. Bit of dead skin there, which is not attractive. I put some hand cream on, but then I washed my hands again and forgot to put more hand cream on. So I'll need to do that after the video. Right, are we ready to glue? I think we can glue. So line it up how you would like it. Make sure it's square this way and that you've got the right spacing for your pockets. And now which way is best to do this? I think I'm going to go from the front. Is that the right way to do it, or the back? Maybe the back. So just doing, if I can open those top ones out, just doing the height of this pocket here. So at this stage I'm not going right to the bottom of the crease, because that's going to hamper me being able to fold things back up to get into glue. So just doing the edge there. Now I can do this one. So if I've glued all the way to the bottom, I wouldn't be able to open this one out fully to get into glue. Right, now our front one. Getting glue on my mat. Okay, I said I could do it off camera, but I'm going to do it right now. I do want to ink around the edges, just because I think it helps bring everything together. And it's still relatively light because the base papers I'm using are thin and light. So it's not bulky, but it will definitely be bulky once I've filled it with bits and pieces. So ideal for those thin papers, as long as you reinforce the edges where things are going in and out a little bit, either by folding them back or with strips of scrap paper or a book page or whatever. I think that's so fun, just different. You could actually, just thinking about it, you could actually put it on the page this way, in which case you could go with a longer something, and you could put things in sideways there So the pockets are decently deep enough. You know, you have actually got quite some real estate in there. So you can put it on a page like this, which I think is super cute. And I actually really like that the tabs are different. It just gives it a little quirkiness. Or bear in mind the width of your journal page if you want to do it this way and have a vertical stack, that you're within the confines of your pages. So, you know, that's a decent height pocket there for a decent, probably normal. That one's shallower. And then this one's shallower, but this one's quite a bit deeper, and then the back one will be deep as well, just to give you an idea. So I don't think it needs a lot of decorating. I think just this front bit is all we need to decorate. Just trying to think what I've got that would kind of fit nicely in there. Of course, I am thinking about labels. I love seeing the feathers in here. I keep thinking I should move them out to somewhere better, but I like when I grab this tray of labels, and these are all from the Junk Journal Studio. I like seeing the feathers there. So they persist in living in this. I think we need a bigger label. Okay. So you had a brief look at my feathers there. Actually, I don't have the other labels I was thinking of handy, so we won't worry about those. We'll just look at what we've got. That's too big. That's a shame, because that one would have been really lovely, I think. Let's grab these out. These are from labels from days gone by from the Junk Journal Studio. They're a little bit blendy, aren't they? Here's that T one, which I quite like. It's a smaller version. Let's go with that one, perhaps. But it needs a bit of something, bit of colour or something. What would I like to use? Oops, hang on. Just had an avalanche threatening, so I thought I'll take care of it before I have to pick everything up off the floor. Let's just see what a little bit of this napkin would look like. I'm not sure that it will work, but it's worth a go. Oops. Very interesting things to tear, and I think that's a little bit too wide, so tear a bit more off it. I actually quite like that. I'm wondering about a fabric cluster. Ooh, click clack, very loud. Instead of a label, maybe. I don't want to cover over our tab, really. Got a bit of fluff stuck on there that I don't want. My fingers are black with glue and ink. That one. Or this one. It kind of got a different vibe. This is more cartoony, so not that one. I might struggle to find a home for that one, actually. Seeing little bits of thread and stuff where it doesn't need to be. Is that going to be annoying with Get it. Oh, no, should be fine. Still putting things in and out of the pocket. We could always trim that little peak off. So that one, or that one. Do we need that? Probably not, actually. I think I like this one. It's just a little bit more petite. So, do we want this? Maybe we want a smaller label, actually. Now that we've kind of got other things going on, a small label might work. Maybe a little bit bigger. No, not that one. Maybe the shape. That sort of brings in the creaminess of that fabric there. Let's just try a few. While we're here, we might as well try some more. No, that's kind of getting too similar to the size of that cluster. Number. I like the number. Let's go with the number. Right, and then to pop that label back where it goes. Right, let's ink around this. I have no idea what the time is. I've got the Olympics playing on the TV and it looks like it's a cycling race right now. Okay, I'm going to very carefully, actually I'll use this because this hasn't been glued on, very carefully put glue on the back of the napkin, hopefully without ripping it, so just not going too firmly, but firmly enough that it actually gets glue on it. Alright, I think we succeeded. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Lid trying to run away on me. Okay, let's use some fabric glue on our fabric piece here. Fingers cooperate, would you please? Just going to take a few threads off that are sticking to my fingers. Not helpful. That I can see we're wanting to come away anyway, so I might as well get rid of them now. So I don't want to glue the tip of this red and white bit of fabric, so I'm just going to put my thumb there so I don't end up gluing it down, because then it would close our pocket and we don't need that. Just a few spots of glue here and there, doesn't need heaps. Cool. Okay, back to the glue stick for our little number label from the Junk Journal Studio. And that bit of cotton is still stuck to my thumb. Oh. Right. Trying to level it up a bit there. Right. Okay, so we have now our 1, 2, 3, That's a deep one there, goes all the way to the bottom. 4 file tab pockets, pocket stack. What shall we call it? File tab pocket stack. I think that's a bit of a mouthful, but it works. Just going to grab my journal page, my sample journal page. Let's flip it over because this one's quite busy, so you can perhaps see a little bit clearer. I think that looks lovely, very simply decorated. And if I had put it this way, I would have just flipped the label around so it was the other way round, and possibly the cluster as well, so that the bow isn't like sideways. And I could even have that dangling off. You know, I don't need to put it right down the bottom. I could put it up a little bit. And I think that's super cool. So that is today's idea for Trash Craft Tuesday. Whether you use an instruction manual or some scrap paper, whatever you've got lying around that you want to deal with, I do recommend the lighter papers for it, just so it doesn't bulk up too much. But I'm sure it will work with whatever paper you've got, except for heavy scrapbook paper. I wouldn't recommend that. Book pages would be ideal, like encyclopedia pages, dictionary pages, something like that would work. Just customize the size, get your width correct, and what height of, you know, the height that you want to work with. So just a reminder, in half, mine were just a fraction under 8 inches, 4 for the half depth, and just using the principle, make up your own, whatever size you like, file tab pocket stack. I think that's a good name. Okay, thanks for joining me today, guys. I hope you give this one a go. Lots of fun. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it's super cute. Take care, my friends. I'll be back again tomorrow with Wednesday's video. Probably Roxy's weekly challenge, if I can find time to actually watch her video, because I haven't seen it yet. Take care, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye for now.